Hi, Rob here. How are you doing? Good, I hope. Now, I'm down this beautiful place today. It's called The Cars in Wilmslow. And quite often come down here. I come for a walk and it clears my mind and it helps me relax. And it's like a de-stressor for me. And I thought to myself, stress is one of the major illnesses today, right? And the World Health Organization say that by 2030 it'll be the biggest killer, stress and anxiety. And everywhere you go on social media, people are stressed out. Everyone's talking about stress, and it really is a bad thing. It causes so many illnesses. It's just unbelievable when you research it. And I've had stressful times in my life as well. And when you leave stress unchecked, that's when it really does get to you, and that's when it sets, disease sets into the body and all of that. So I just want to share with you a couple of things that I use to sort of combat stress, if you like. And one of them is I apply, when something happens to me, I'll apply the thinking of, will this matter in 5 days or 5 weeks, 5 months, or even 5 years? And if it's not going to make much of a difference to me, in those time frames, then it's not really worth worrying about and stressing about. And the other thing that you can do to combat stress is take a different perspective on the actual event that's happened to you. And the reason being is because stress doesn't come from the facts, stress comes from your interpretation of the facts. So, for example, what I mean by this is you and me could both lose our jobs, or in my case, lose a client, for example. Now, you might find that stressful, whereas I don't find it stressful. In other words, your mountain is only a molehill for me, just whereas my molehill, or my mountain rather, could be your molehill. So the point I'm making there, I want to just re-emphasize that, is stress doesn't come from the facts, it comes from how we interpret those facts. And one thing you can do there is, so if, let's say you're thrust into a stressful situation, let's say for example you lost your job, and that's not a very nice thing to happen to you. However, you could look at it in another angle, another way, if you like. And you can do that by asking yourself, what's great about this situation that I've been plunged into? And if you find that a little bit too strong, you could say to yourself, what could be great about this situation? And I remember coaching this chap a few years ago now, and he was an accountant in the city, and he lost his job, and he was like really, peeved off about it. And he came to me and he told me, what had happened and all of that. And I said to him, what could be great about it? And he said to me, well, there's nothing great about losing your job, Rob. I've got a mortgage and children and a wife and expenses, flying out of my bank account and all of this, which I appreciate. I understand that, but I persisted with him. And I said to him, okay, what could be great about this job loss that you've had? So anyway, I stayed silent for a few minutes, and I told him I wanted to just think about that question and answer it in his own mind. And so he did. And then he realised that he could actually start his own accounting practice, and he wouldn't have the long commute into the city anymore. And so he went off and he found an office, and he used his savings, and he's just started his own business within about 2 or 3 weeks. So the mind, you see, has a tendency all the time to have a look at the negative side of things. It's a natural process to protect you. So that's why that question, what could be great about this situation that I'm in right now, that can actually help you. And it can just refocus the mind to perhaps find something that is great about the situation that you're in. So I hope those 2 tips can help you with your stress. Apply the rule of 5 or 3. Sometimes I'll do it, is this going to really bother me in 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks or 3 years? And the other one is to ask yourself, what's great about this situation that I find myself in? And if that question's a little bit too hard, ask yourself what could be great about this situation that I'm in. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you can, find places like this where I come so that you can de-stress as well. Alright, until next time, I'll speak to you soon. This is Rob saying goodbye.